Hi class, today I will be doing my speech on why sex education should be taught in middle school. And this is my audience. Imagine being a 13-year-old in middle school in a middle school classroom hearing about sex for the first time, not from a trusted adult, but from a peer who may have misinformation. Now imagine that you have been given the tools in school to understand your body and the relationships in a healthy, factual way. How different would your life be? Students who receive early sex education gain essential knowledge about their bodies and relationships and learn safe practices which leads them to make healthier choices during their maturation process. Every person present will experience some effect from the knowledge we share with younger generations. Early sex education helps prevent confusion, misinformation, and unwanted consequences in the future. My research on early sex education and student health reveals that students who learn about sex education at an earlier age tend to make better decisions and have better health outcomes. I will explain why sex education should be taught in middle school by discussing its benefits for students' health, its role in preventing misinformation, early pregnancies, and how it contributes to creating a more inclusive, informed society. Now that you understand the points of why sex education should be taught as early as middle school, let's look at the first point about some cause and effect outcomes of the teachings. Early sex education leads to improved health outcomes and better decision making. Being able to teach sex education ahead of time provides students with knowledge about body changes and reproductive science. This includes knowledge of puberty, menstruation, and basic reproductive health. Early awareness can also push teens to have better self-care and hygiene. Early education about safe sexual practices leads students to make fewer risky choices. Research indicates that early education programs decrease the occurrence of sexually transmitted infections, also called STIs. Students tend to use contraception more effectively when they understand its purpose. So right here is a graph from gutmatcher.org reducing STI cases that show more than 65% of the population have had intercourse before the age of 18. A studies from the American Academy of Pediatrics Sexuality Education for Children and Adolescents confirm that early education improves sexual health outcomes. The benefits of early sex education for students' health have been established, but we need to discuss how providing this education stops harmful misinformation and negative effects of ignorance. Early sex education prevents misinformation and early pregnancies. Peer-to-peer misinformation can be dangerous. In middle school, students often rely on peers for answers about sex, which can be full of myths. Early sex education provides accurate information, debunking harmful myths. Prior exposure to proper sex education reduces the rate of teen pregnancies. Studies demonstrate that detailed sex education programs help students delay their first sexual encounters while simultaneously increasing their adoption of contraception methods. Nations implementing extensive sex education programs experienced reduced teen pregnancy statistics. So right here is a graph from also gutmatcher.org, adolescents' pregnancy and its outcomes across the countries. It reveals abortions, miscarriages, and births in each country, revealing USA has the highest rank in almost every category. The implementation of sex education, which covers gender identity, sexual orientation, and consent, leads to better student understanding of diverse identities, reducing bullying, and enhances social cohesion in schools. Early sex education serves two essential purposes by fighting false information and reducing teenage pregnancies, while also developing socially aware and inclusive youth generations. Early sex education promotes inclusivity and social awareness. Early education provides a platform to discuss consent, relationships, and respect. The instruction teaches students about mutual respect and consent to establish better respectful relationships among them. This also helps reduce instances of bullying and harassment. Addressing sexual orientation and gender identity early helps promote inclusivity and understanding. The course will help students understand the diversity of sexual orientation and gender, which will help them to reduce prejudice and discrimination. Early education fosters empathy and inclusion in a diverse society. The implementation of sex education in middle school provides substantial advantages to students. The program results in improved health results and decreases incorrect information while supporting diverse student populations. We need to ensure our children are ready for the realities of growing up by giving them tools they need to make informed, responsible decisions. It is time to introduce early sex education in middle schools for a healthier and more informed future. And then this is we're excited for all of my pictures, and then this is my audience. Thank you.